Pixar. One of the greatest animation studios to ever exist on this earth. Throughout their career, they have had a track record of masterpiece after masterpiece. But then they hit a downhill slump ever since Cars 2. Cars 2 was where they really rode down to the bottom of the hill. Next came Brave, which was so-so. It was better than Cars 2, but it was far from being their best work. The story wasn't what I expected it to be. It felt too much like Pixar's version of Brother Bear. After that came Monsters University, a prequel to Monsters Inc. Monsters University was pretty good, but not a masterpiece. It was still better than Cars 2 as far as Pixar sequels go. Then in 2014, there were no Pixar films, similar to how we didn't get a Pixar film in 2005. Then finally in 2015, Pixar released Inside Out, which turned out to be a modern masterpiece, and they really redeemed themselves with that one. Then later in the same year, they released The Good Dinosaur. The Good Dinosaur was good, it was cute, but it just wasn't as good as Inside Out was. In 2016, they released Finding Dory, continuing Pixar's new sequel trend. Finding Dory is a sequel I really loved. It's rare for a sequel to be just as good as the original and maybe even better. I thought it was fantastic, and I thought Pixar outdid themselves. Why am I talking about Pixar? Because Pixar just came out with another sequel, Cars 3. I wasn't stoked to see this movie because the first Cars wasn't a masterpiece to begin with, and Cars 2 was a bad sequel. But I decided to give Cars 3 a chance, because maybe, just maybe, it would be better than Cars 2. So how was the film? First I'll talk about the story. Basically, the story is about Lightning McQueen, who gets devastatingly defeated by a surprising rookie named Jackson Storm. So he decides to do things differently in order to win, and meets with a trainer named Cruz Ramirez. And from there, he tries to return to his former glory, but along the way, he wonders what his destiny truly is. I thought that this movie was actually pretty solid. It had messages about mentorship and how pride comes before a fall. The story is interesting and entertaining enough to not be boring. It fell flat on the humor, but really delivered on its story and dramatic and emotional moments. This movie was a step up from Cars 2, and it returned Cars to its former glory. It actually felt like a direct sequel to Cars, as if Cars 2 never happened. I think that's what Cars 2 should have been. The best part is, this is a G-rated movie, and solid G-rated films are hard to come by. I didn't notice anything inappropriate. I give this movie a 3 out of 5. Overall, it's a solid film, and it's perfectly family friendly. And the message on mentorship and pride I'd say is lightly faith supportive. I was pleasantly surprised. It is one of Pixar's weakest, but it's not bad either. It was still good. At any rate, I'm Ethan Horn. This was Golly Dragon Reviews and Apologetics, and you have a blessed day. And if you want to see the written version of this review, please click on the link to the blog in my description. Thank you, and have a blessed day.